Good morning. Well, we're thinking again, who is God? And we turn back to these 66 books that we've been given, the books which are combined into one volume known to us as the Bible. And we go back and we listen to what these people have written, right? We listen to what they've said and what they've written down for us to try to understand. And the first thing we're given, quite simply, right in the very book of Genesis. By the way, these first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis and Exodus and Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy, they were set down during the time of Moses. They are known as the Pentateuch. And sometime, if you've got time, read them. If you want to leave out Leviticus, leave it out for a while, because Leviticus is full of rules and regulations about Jewish worship. But the others, Genesis and Exodus and Numbers and Deuteronomy, if I was you, I would start, wherever you like amongst those books and just browse amongst them. But Moses, who was setting down those books, gathered together the stories of creation. And remember, Moses was a person who had a deep understanding of God. Here was the person who had led the children of Israel out of Egypt, out of slavery. We can't even begin to imagine what this meant. He gathered up these 12 tribes, probably about 3 million of them, who were slaves in Egypt, and led them out into Egypt. And there in the desert where he led them, again speaking with God, he combined them into the race of Israel, the tribes of Israel, into one race, a people which is still amongst us at the present day. So this Moses, looking back on creation and understanding God, probably as well as anybody could understand him, wrote quite simply that in the beginning, the Elohim, which is the word he uses for God, the Elohim created the heavens and the earth. In other words, everything we see is created, but it's not just the material universe that's being created. There's a whole spiritual universe going alongside it that we can never see and we can never hear. The Elohim, God, created the heavens and the earth. And he said the earth was without form. And then this God started to create within the material universe. Now, as we look on to other writers, we begin to see that this whole creation thing is an act of love on the behalf of God. And he wants to bring into existence a new form of creation. And there's a purpose behind it. And gradually, as the story unfolds, we can begin to see that purpose. First of all, he creates light and energy and matter. And then as we go on through the story of Genesis, we see every single thing coming into existence as he speaks the word and brings it into existence. Until finally, the world as we know it exists. But now his true purpose is revealed. Because within that world, he decides to create a being, our ancient ancestor, Adam. Adam, with his wife Eve, he creates these beings, and he puts within his own creation a garden, a protected place. And he puts them in that garden. And he says to them quite simply, you are going to be my vice regents. You are going to look after the world on my behalf. But you see, what he was really trying to do was that he was trying to create children. Now, these children, if they were to be truly his children, had to have free will. So he said, within this garden, I'm going to give you complete authority. But in order that you might have free will, and that's important, in order that you might have free will, I'm going to put one small thing in the garden that you should not do. In other words, I'm going to have to give you choice. I mean, if you can do anything, then in a sense you don't have free will. But if I'm going to put some small thing into the garden that you should not do, you will in fact have free will. You can decide to do it or not do it. Now, we're told by our mystics that this Adam and this Eve, well, they had enormous abilities. They had powerful, healthy bodies. They had powerful, healthy minds. And they had powerful, healthy spirits as well. They could communicate with God. They could walk with God. They could talk with God. And our mystics tell us that they were literally clothed with light. Clothed with light. And God said to them, as you look at this garden, I want you to extend it until it fills the whole world. This is going to be your task, to look after this garden. You're not just put here on a sort of holiday. You're going to be put here to look after the garden and take care of the different animals and all the different plants. You're to plan it and look after it. I want to train you. I want to bring you up. I want to show you what it means to be in charge. I want to give you this ability. And the story starts. We come back to this again.